Om Bhadram Karnevi Shrunuyam Deva Bhadram Pashe Makhyavirya Jatra Sthirai Rangai Stuštavangsas Tanuvi Vyashema Deva Hitam Yadayu Swastina Indro Vruddashrava Swastina Pusha Vishwaveda Swastina Starksho Arishtanemi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We are studying Muṇḍaka Upanishad with Shankar's commentary, and last time we read up to mantra 8 in the first section of first Muṇḍaka, and only one more mantra in that section is remaining, the 9th. And 9th is the summary of the previous mantra. So we must go back and see what are the previous mantra. What did we learn from the beginning? In the beginning, we were told that Brahma taught it to Atharva and Angiras and that. And then Shaunaka, the great householder, went to Angiras and asked him, knowing what everything becomes known. And we have seen the implication of this is that he had felt that there is a common reality, both for me and for the world, there is a common reality. But he does not know its nature. He wants to make it his own, realize it. That is the nature of the question. So Angira started telling him that knowledge itself is of two kinds. When you know something, that is called the lower knowledge. And when you have to know your own reality, that knowledge will be completely different from this. Because you cannot know your reality as an object. So you must first understand that knowledge itself is of two kinds. And then he describes the lower knowledge first. He calls this knowledge para and apara, supreme and lower. And then he describes the lower knowledge first, that all the Vedas and all the Vedangas. Vedas and Vedangas are those which help us to understand Vedas. So all the Vedas are all subtler knowledge. Devata Gyan, Karma Phala Gyan, and knowledge of subtler elements, that is Vedas. And then para, how to describe para? Para cannot be told in the particular books or texts or any such thing. So para is only that by which the unchanging reality becomes known. That is the only way it can be defined. That means the para knowledge, the real knowledge, depends upon the nature of the reality. And the nature of the reality only determines what is the real knowledge. So we must know the nature of the reality. So from the next mantra, he started telling the nature of the reality from the 6th mantra. And so this nature of the reality is known, that is called the Paravidya. By that, by which this reality is known. Then what is the nature of the reality? Yat tat adreshyam, agrayam, agotram, avarnam, achakshushrotam, tad apanipadam, nityam vibhum sarvagatam, susukshmam, tad avyayam, yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhira. So that which cannot be seen, that means not available to any organs of knowledge. Agrayam, not available to any organ of work. Karmendriya, you cannot get it. Agotram, it has no origin. Avarnam, it cannot be described. This is all the meaning of all this is that it is not an object. Then achakshu shrotram is neither the subject nor the organ through which the subject perceives the object. both Chakshu and Shrotra, eyes and ears. And then he is not a person with organs of action. Neither is the organs of action, nor is a person with organs of action. That's Apanipadam. He is without hands and feet. Then Nityam is unchangingly eternal. Vibhum, he manifests himself as right from Brahma to the blade of grass, all in various ways he expresses himself. Sarvagatam is all pervading. Susukshmam, not available to Indriyas, not available to the mind, not available to Buddhi, not available to eye consciousness, like that. Is the subtlest means it is our own reality. That avyayam, it cannot reduce, it cannot change in any way whatsoever. Not as we lose our hands or feet, nor as we lose our property. In no way it can lose because it has no parts or it has no properties. Yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhira, and it is that reality which the sages see as the source of this world, as the source of all beings, as the creator, the cause of creation, preservation, destruction of all beings. So we have seen that in one stroke, the reality is described as transcendent, immanent reality. Nirgun Sagun Brahma, the beyond everything and the creator of everything. Simultaneously, in the same mantra, it is described. And then, how he creates all beings, that is described a little through examples. No logic goes there. So through examples, it is described in the seventh mantra. Yathorna nabhi srujate grunnate cha yatha prithivyan aushadaya sambhavanti yatha satah purushat keshalomani tatha aksharat sambhavati vishvam. Here, Vishwam is this world of varieties. Sambhavati comes out, is manifested. Yatha urnanavi sujate grunate cha, as the spider creates from its own body the fibers by which it builds the nest, and it swallows it back also. So, nature of the creation is this. It gets manifested from reality and goes back into reality. As from the earth, trees come out. So apparently from dead matter, the trees are coming out. Yatha Sata Purushat Keshalomani. And this man is living being. And from him, the dead matter like hairs and small hairs come out. So the entire creation of Jada, Chetana, or whatever it may be, is coming out of that one reality. That reality, by that knowledge, if this reality is known, then that is the supreme knowledge. Now, how it comes out? Is there an order of creation? Does it come out suddenly? That is being described in the 8th mantra. Tapasa chiyate brahma. Tapasa is normally austerities. Now, what Brahman can do austerities? In the 9th mantra, it is described that Jnanamayam tapa. That means tapasya here is shift of consciousness. Consciousness is that I am alone real. And when it shifts to let me create, that much is his tapasya. So he himself is going to appear as the whole world. And so let me appear as the whole world. That shift of consciousness is called tapasya. And by tapasya, he says the Brahman swells. Swells means there was no dimensions in Brahman. Either it is all pervading or it is a point like that, what the scientists tell, that new term, that the point gets burst into the whole world. So, Big Bang theory. So like that, it swells, means it becomes now, has the potential now to create the world. It becomes potentially ready to create the world. Shankara has given examples that as father swells and he wants to create a son, or the better example is that seed, when it will bring out a sprout, before that the seed swells. So these are only worldly examples. The meaning is that without any dimension, he is infinite. But now he'll get dimensions. He can be measured. He gets some material. He gets some space. He gets some time. So that is called swelling. Tato annam avijayate. So from that, anna gets born. What is this anna? The next sentence is annat prano. Pran is described as Hiranyagarbha. So by the juxtaposition of words, we understand better. Anna is not the food which we eat. The food which we eat is very gross anna. Now, behind this gross anna is the mental world, which is called the pran or the Hiranyagarbha. Now, before that, what is there? Matter, it is called primordial matter, indiscrete matter. That means the avyakta state of the world. Anna here means the matter which you cannot see, matter which you cannot touch, matter which is not yet available to the subtler senses or mind also. So before that, there is matter in the avyakta form, unmanifested matter, the possibility of becoming matter. That is called annam. The original material from which, like a potter has to prepare his clay and then he will create the world. World is not there when the clay is there. Clay, but from clay, you will have to knead it and do some processes by which it becomes ready for further manifestation. That is called anna. Anna is normally equal to matter. Anna is equal to, in the grossmost sense, anna is that which is eaten. Little subtler meaning is anna is equal to matter. Go back. Anna is the subtle matter from which the gross matter will come out. Go back. Anna is that unmanifested matter from which the subtle matter will come out, from which the gross matter will come out, from that food will come out and we'll eat it. So that is how to apply the meaning, find out the meaning of the word annam. Anna is equal to food. Anna is equal to matter. Anna is equal to subtle matter. Anna is equal to subtlest matter, indiscrete matter. It has not formed as, that is called indiscrete. Primordial, that means the very fundamental nature of matter. Through some figures we can explain. Now, there is a line, straight line, imaginary straight line. Now, it has not formed of points. If it becomes points, there will be infinite points, but they will be occupying some space. Now, before points are formed, there is a line. So, line is like the indiscrete matter from which points will come out. And from points, different figures will come out. So, like that, let us imagine, visualize. Rishi is saying that, Rishi is telling that For us to judge it, let us go back, because the word used is annam, and anna normally means food. So, but it is not food. So we say subtle matter. No, we say food, we say matter in general, but it is not seen. So we say subtle matter, matter which can be pursued by the yogis through their mind, but even that is not yet made. It is also form. All the subtle, suppose we think, make ideas, that also has forms. Now that which cannot think, that which you cannot experience, but it is there. From that, this material will be made. So in that way, we can understand annam. Anna is equal to food. Anna going back. Anna is equal to matter going back. Anna is equal to subtler matter can be pursued by the yogis only. Anna is equal to subtlest matter, avyakta, avyakruta, which is yet to be manifested as matter. The original state of matter, that is called annam. Abhijayate is nicely born. Is nicely born from that Brahman which has swelled. Brahman, through shift of his knowledge, has become available now as space. And then this subtlest matter is born. From that subtlest matter, Annat Prano. Prana is the name of Hiranyagarbha. That means Brahman with mind. Brahman with subtler matter. That is called Prana or Hiranyagarbha. Why Hiranyagarbha? Because the grossness is not there, so it is shining all through. That is Hiranyagarbha. That is shining all through. So it is called Hiranyagarbha. It has so many other names. Sutratma, that which holds the whole world together, etc., etc. So that is prana. So from the indiscrete matter, unformed matter, subtlest matter, this subtler matter, which can be pursued by the yogis, which is pursued by all the Gyanis, that is born. That is the universal mind. Being with the universal mind. From the soul and Brahma, that matter is born, and from that matter, original matter, the Brahma is born, the person with the universal mind. Then from that mind, our mind, your mind is born, mana, and from mind, Satyam. Satya is the matter available to us. Satya is that which we see. It is truly seen. And so, the matter which we see, feel, touch is called Satyam. And before that, Hiranyagarbha, subtler matter. Before that, unformed matter. So, Satyam. Now from this, whatever we see, feel, touch is called Satyam. Existence as we can see, feel, touch, that comes out from Brahma's mind. Brahma is the person with the mind. From him, the mind comes out, and from the mind, the matter as we know, living beings as we know, the universe as we know, that comes out Satyam. Now from Satyam, what will come out? The places in which we can live. There are different spheres in which a human being lives. Being lives. If you do good karma, you go to heaven. If you have knowledge and karma, you go to Devata Lok, Brahma Lok. And if you do bad works, you go to lower species, yonis. These are called lokas. The loka meaning, Shankar explains that when we do some karma, we experience some result. that is called lokas. So places where we avoid, that is called loka. When the matter is ready, from that houses are built. From the matter which is ready, all the spheres are built. All the different higher and lower spheres are built. And then one word which is not directly stated, you have to understand from that karma comes out. Karma is actually the division of subject and objects from which the action will come out. Now from actions, what will come out? The result of the action. The result of the actions will be beings getting these lokas. Lokas, abodes are ready. Then persons. Persons will do karma. And the karma, they will get fruit to live in these lokas. That is how the whole world, that is the order in which the whole world is created. The order in which the whole world is created is like that. Brahma swells like the seed swelling, and then the primordial, subtlest, indiscrete matter called Anna is born. From Anna, the subtler, perceivable to the yogis, that prana is born, and from prana or Brahma, the mind gets formed, and from the formed mind, we get different abodes to live, and we do karma, and we get the result thereof. That is how it is created. Now, this wants to be told in a nutshell. First, nutshell stressing the nirguna aspect more, but telling that the world comes out of it was the 6th mantra. 7th mantra, the process of manifestation, the examples were given for manifestation. In 7th, the process of manifestation is described. Now, it has to be summed up. Then only it will become a little concrete in our consciousness, concept. Now, how to sum up what is created after all? Yes, sarvajna sarvavid, yasya jnanamayam tapaha, tasmat etad brahma nama rupam annam cha jayate. Now the meaning changes in context. Here the meaning of Anna will not be that indiscrete matter. Here because it is mentioned last year. So from Anna, we'll get directly the food which we eat. Now, who? The creator. How is described? Sarvagya, Sarvavid. That means he knows everything in general. What is everything in general? He knows that the reality is one without a second. He knows that world is only an appearance. That is knowing everything in general. And Sarvavid, but he knows everything in particular. Particular are waves in our mind. Particulars are details of actions in this world. These particulars, because he is all, so he definitely knows these particulars also. Let us go through some example, concrete example to know, to understand, feel this. A little funny real story. In our Nagpur Ramakrishna Ashram, there is Vivekananda Vidyarthi Bhavan, students' home. And, well, to be personal, I was the warden. Now, one student used to feel that he is a perfect person. But mistakes used to happen. He would say, mistake happened due to mistake. Mistakenly I did like this. Nobody does mistake by knowledge. It happens but that was his language. Now one day, when he entered the bathroom to take bath or wash his face or whatever, there was pencil in his pocket. So he got a natural, you may say, restlessness and to use that pencil. And so he wrote some words on the wall. Now when he come out, the other boy went inside and he saw those words. So he understood clearly that this boy has written. So he told other boys and they caught him and they told him that better you go to the warden and confess yourself. Then warden will not take any action. But if the warden comes to know without your telling him, he may give you punishment. Now he is arguing with those boys. He says, how will the warden know if I written in closed doors? That means in a way he has confessed. If, then the boys tell him, God tells the warden, their faith. God tells everything to the warden. Then he says, how God will know if I written in closed doors? Then the boys said, we cannot explain, we cannot reply to this question of yours. Let us go to the warden himself and ask him. So the boys, 4, 5, 6 boys, along with that particular boy, they came to the warden's room and asked and told me the whole story. That this boy wants to know how God will know if he writes with closed doors. Then I asked him, where you wrote on the wall. Now what is the wall? It is the face of God. And you are written on the face of God. And do you think God will not know it? That is one point only. Now before you wrote, the idea came in your mind to write. And God is your innermost reality. So as soon as the idea came, God knows it. Then you will write. So God knows it well. So both subjectively and objectively, God knows it. When you write on the wall, I think this explains this knowledge of particulars. God knows everything in general and everything in particular. For that particular, this is the description. That if you write on the wall, it is God's face. He knows it. And before you write, the idea comes in your mind, God knows that particulars. So I think this is the better way to understand. God knows all particulars of this world. Whatever is happening anywhere, don't think God does not know it. We can never imagine God not knowing a thing. God is also called the eternal witness. He does not change, but he knows. So he knows everything in general and he knows everything in particular. That is nature of the Creator God. So how we say that is Nirguna only? We have seen in mantra 6, 7, 8 and 9 that God is not only Nirguna, He is the creator of this world. Why I am telling again and again, general Vedantis make this mistake. They say, you say God. We do not believe in God even, some people say. What do you believe in? Brahman. What is Brahman? Beyond everything. If Brahman is beyond everything, what is everything? Illusion. What is illusion? Unreal world. Illusion, we have not created it. Unreal world, we have not created it. God has created it. The creatorship always goes to God. So how do we say we don't believe in God? How we see the world? So this mistake should not be made. That is why I am again and again shouting every day that don't think that the reality is only transcendent. Reality is transcendent, immanent, transcendent and creator of everything. that further becomes the incarnation for your knowledge. Anyway, there is a couplet supposedly by Tulsidas, जो राम दशरथ का बेटा वही राम घट घट में लेटा, जो राम जगत पसेरा वही राम सबसे न्यारा. That Ram, which was the son of Dasharatha, that Ram lives in the hearts of all beings. That Ram, which has manifested as the whole world, that Ram is beyond this world. We read this from the reverse side. That Ram which is beyond the world is the Ram which is spread through the world. That Ram which lives in everybody's heart, that Ram is born as Dasharatha's son. So, because he wants to protect this world, so he gets an incarnation. Anyway, that is not the topic here, but I am telling that immanent, transcendent and immanent are one thing. So Sarvavid, and it describes Yasya Jnanamayam Tapa. So that is the explanation for the 8th mantra. What is told in 6, 7, 8, that is being summed up here. So Yasya Jnanamayam Tapa, his austerity was not like our austerity, it was just a shift in his knowledge. Shift of the form of knowledge, not the original knowledge. Tasmat, from that, Etad Brahma. You see, the word changes place and the meaning changes. From that Brahman, this Brahman is born. What is this Brahman? Brahma or Hiranyagarbha. Brahma or Hiranyagarbha, which we think is the creator of this world, is born from that reality which is all-knower in general and all-knower in particular. From that reality whose tapasya is form of knowledge, from that this Hiranyagarbha Brahma, this Saguna Brahma, the Brahma with the mind, universal mind, is born. So, in summary, a big step is being told. We are not told of the indiscrete matter there. And so, this Brahman is born. Now from Brahman, what is born? That is the important point in this mantra. What is born? We have described that mind is born, Satya, Loka, Karma, Amrita, all that we are told. But what it is after all? Some names and some forms. The creation of the entire world is summed up by telling that names and forms are born. What else is the world? Some forms which are changing continuously. Why they appear real? Because they are born from Brahman. Why they appear as separately real than Brahman? Because we give a name to that. So the whole world is manifested through names and forms. And so, from that Hiranyagarbha Brahma, names and forms are born. And these names and forms are telling us of the entire world. Then next step, Annam cha jayate. So Anna is the gross matter here, the food which we eat here. So points are being told. The whole process is told, but to remember the points are told. Brahman, the creator, knows everything in the general and everything in particular. His penance, his austerities are generally only knowledge. From that, Brahma, the creator, the universal mind is born. From him, names and forms are manifested. And from names and forms, we get the concrete matter or food or the eaters of food. Everything is Annam. So, Annam cha jayate is born. This is the 9th mantra. Then read the commentary. Uktamev artham upasamvajirshur jishur mantro vakshamanartham ava. Uktameva artham, that which has been told in 6, 7, and 8, upasamjirshur, has to be concluded or summarized. Mantra, the 9th mantra, Vakshamana Arthama, is telling it in this form. Here, Ukta Lakshana Aksharakya, that very, see how sweet it appears when you see the original. Otherwise, this quarrel between Saguna and Nirguna has no meaning. So, Shankar tells Ukta Lakshana Aksharakyas, that which has characteristics have been told, whose name is unchanging reality, that Sarvajna Sarvasa. Samanena Sarvam Janati iti Sarvajna. He knows everything in general, so he is called Sarvajna. Visheshanam Sarvam, Visheshena Sarvam Veti iti Sarvavid. He knows all particulars, so he is called Sarvavid. Yasya Jnanamayam, Jnana Vikarameva, Sarvajna Lakshanam Tapo. The shift of knowledge is called Jnana Vikar, a form of knowledge. What is that form of knowledge? That is Sarvagya. That means when the Sarva comes out, then only is Sarvagya. So, that is the Jnana Vikar. The Jnana takes a form, and that form is that he is Sarvajna. Sarvajna Lakshanam. Tapo Anayasa Lakshanam. It is called austerity, but without any effort. Anayasa Lakshanam. The nature of his effort is only knowledge, no effort. Tasmad Yathoktat Sarvajnat. From that Sarvajna, Etad Uktam Karya Lakshanam Brahma Hiranyagarbhakyam Jayate. Karya Lakshanam is this which is the product, called Brahman also. Brahma rather. And the other name is Hiranyagarbha. Jayate is born. Kimcha Nama, then name is born. What is name? Aso Devadatta Yagyadatta ityadi. Some particular names. Lakshanam, the names of this nature. Rupam, idam shuklam neelam ityadi. This white, this is blue, some form. Annam cha vriyavadi. Anna is food here, eatable fruit, rice or barley, etc. Lakshanam jayate is born. Purva mantrokta kramena iti avirodho drashtavya. It is not telling something new. The order of creation is told in the 8th mantra. Here, summing up, or a principle is told that names and forms are all these. So it is not contradictory to the last mantra. The very meaning of last mantra in a different form has been put for conclusion to make us feel that your creation is nothing but names and forms and matter, food. So that is how the whole thing is described. In this way, in the first section of the first Muṇḍaka, the Vidyas are separated, and Apara Vidya is all subject-object knowledge, including the subtlest knowledge, and Para Vidya is that by which the unchanging reality is known, and the nature it is of the nature of the very reality, and so the nature of the reality is described in 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it ends the first section. Now we come to the second section of the first Muṇḍaka. Let us read Shankara's connecting Bhashya. Sangha Veda Apara Vidya Ukta Rugvedo Yajurvedo Ityadina. Vedas along with their Angas have been told as secondary knowledge, and names are given Rigveda, Yajurveda, Ityadi. Then real knowledge is told supreme knowledge. Yattat adreshyam ityadina namarupam annam cha jayati iti antena granthena ityadina means beginning from yattat adreshyam, ending in annam cha jayate. That means from mantra 6, 7, 8, and 9. Ukta lakshanam aksharam. The characteristics of the unchanging reality have been told. Yaya vidya adigamyate iti paravidya savisheshena ukta. That vidya by which this akshara of Brahma is known is called supreme knowledge. So, supreme knowledge has been told through its qualities. Supreme knowledge is told through its specialities. There is no other way of telling the supreme knowledge. Atha param. So this is the first section. Atha param is after this. Anayor vidyayor vishayo vivektavyo sansara moksho iti uttaro grantha arabhyate. So now, what are the objects of these two knowledges? Vidya, Vishaya have to be told. What are the objects? The object of Apara Vidya is transmigratory world. The object of Paravidya is moksha, freedom, perfection by realizing our own real nature. That is what is to be told in the Grantha which is coming. Tatra Apara Vidya Vishaya Kartradi. Now Shankar tells in substance what is being told in detail. Tatra Apara Vidya Vishaya Kartradi Sadhana Kriya Phala Veda Rupa. What is the matter subject of the Apara Vidya? The doer and other factors of work. Kartradi Sadhana. Kartra Adi Sadhana. Sadhana, the means of work. Means of work is doer and other factors are the means of work. Kriya, then actual action. Phala, and it will result in some phala. Phala Bheda Rupa. And there will be so many fruits according to the work done. What is all this sansaro? That is the transmigratory world. Anadi Ananto. When it began? No. When it will end? No. By itself, it is not going to end. Some people believe one day the world will go into destruction, then there will be a day of judgment. This happens cyclically. There is no end. It goes on revolving and revolving. And when it starts, and the time starts after the world starts. So there is no beginning, no end. Dukkha Swarupatvat. But since its very nature is misery, because unreal shadows, and we are dealing with that, definitely misery will be the result. So it is of the nature of misery. Dukkha Swarupatvat Hatavya. So we have to destroy it. So we have to remove it. Pratyekam shariri bhi samatsena. By everybody, the embodied being should destroy it in totality because it is dukkha swarup. Nadi srotavad avyavacheda rupa sambandha. How it is eternal? Changing every moment but eternal, like the flow of a river. If you see the flow of the river, we give the name river, we give the name Ganga Yamuna. Otherwise, is the water stationary? Which water you are calling Ganga? It is flowing away, continuously flowing away. Like that, in this world of a continuous changing nature, but it remains. We see the same world again and again. So it does not get broken. Avyavacheda lakshana. Avyavacheda rupa sambandha. That is how it gets connected. Now the other side. That upashama lakshana moksha. To stop this current is called moksha. Paravidya vishya. That is the subject of the supreme knowledge. Anadi ananto. That also is beginningless or endless. Really beginningless or endless. The sansar, you see, same words are used. The sansar is beginningless or endless because it is only an appearance. Reality is beginningless or endless because it is the eternal reality. It can never end. Anadi ananto. But there is a difference. Ajaro. It has no old age. The problems of old age are not there. Amaro. It will never die. There is no death for this knowledge. Amruto. Amaro, Amruto. When there are two words, they must have two different shades of meaning. So immortal is Amar. Then what is Amruto? Eternal joy. We can understand it comparatively. Every apparent joy in this world is dirty. Every apparent joy in this world is mixed with pain. Every apparent joy in this world is temporary. Now there is a joy which is not dirty, purest of the pure. It is not admixture of pain and it is eternal. That is called Amrita. Amrita is that joy which is never mixed with dirt, which is never mixed with pain, which is never ends, which is eternal. That is called Amrita. Amara is because it will not die. Ajo, Ajaro, Amaro, Amruto, Abhaya. It is free from fear. Fear always comes from imagination of something other than me. When I become all, there is nothing other than me and there is no fear. Fear of death. I am not the body to die. Fear of thieves looting me. I have no property of mine. So, free from fear is that Brahman, Shuddha. Because there is no two there. So nothing can be mixed, nothing can be adulterated into it. Shuddha, Prasanna. What is Prasanna? Tranquil joy. Joy with tranquility. If we get little joy, we jump out. That is not Prasanna. And if we sit murus, that is not Prasanna. The tranquil state of the mind or the tranquil state is always joyful tranquil state. That is called Prasanna. So, Shankar is describing in short, which will be described throughout the Muṇḍaka Upanishad, the nature of the Paravidya subject. Prasanna, Swatma Pratishtha Lakshana. What is its characteristic? To be established in oneself. We are not going out. We are not doing something. We are being established in our own self. That is the nature, our real self. Paramanando, supreme bliss, Advaya, without a second. Subject we are, object we are, so without a second. Everything we are, so without a second. That is the nature of this Anadi Ananta reality, which is the subject matter of Paravidya. So this is in a nutshell. Then Purvam Tavad Aparavidya Vishaya Pradarshanartham Arabha. Now he told that the subject of those both have to be taught. First to be given up, second to be realized. And he, in a nutshell, he described all that. But the Upanishad has to describe it. So Purvam, in the beginning, Tavad Apara Vidya Vishya Pradarshanaarthamar. So first it will show the subject matter of the Apara Vidya. Tad Darshene Tan Nirveda Upapatte. So when we will see its real nature, we will get Vairagya, dispassion about it. We do not want this dirty thing. Do we not want this painful thing? So when we see its nature, then only Vairagya will get. Tathacha Vakshati. It will be told like here in the second section, almost last mantra, Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan Ityadina. When we do work, we get some loka, and if we examine its characteristic, we get vairagya. That is what will be told there. Nai apradarshite pariksha upapaddate, unless it is shown, how shall we examine it? Iti tat pradarshana. That is the context. The context of the world described in the second mantra is this, that it is the matter of aparavidya, and when we see it properly, then we'll get vairagya from it, and we'll give it up, and then we'll shift to paravidya. That is why two types of knowledge. First type of knowledge, when we fully feel it, we'll never go about it. And then only we'll be capable of going to the second knowledge. That is the krama pekshatvat prativachanasya, that it requires steps. Unless we remove this, that will not be seen. So now, correct description of the aparavidya vishay. Tadetat satyam. The word satyam is used again and again. It is real. It is real relatively. If we do some work, we must get the result that is real. If you are not the doer, then no result. So long as we are the doers, the work will definitely result in result. So, tadetat satyam. How do you know? Mantreshu karmani kavayo yani apashyan. In the Rigvedic or the Sangita portion or in the mantras, kavayo, that means the jnanis, the seers, karmani pashyan. They saw. Mantra are describing devatas, but the rishis saw that this is the root of karma. There are devatas separate from me that will make me do karma. So, in the devata jnana, in the mantra describing the devatas, the wise people saw that karma is involved there. Tani tretayam bauda santatani. Tretayam has two meanings. Treta means 3 priests are required minimum to do any karma. The Rigvedic, Yajurvedic, Samavedic priests are necessary to do any karma. So, in that field, Bahuda Santatani are so much spread. Hundreds of types of yajnas are given. Tretayam. That means in the 3 Vedas. In the 3 Vedas, in which 3 priests are necessary, there are any number of karmas. The other meaning is that if we imagine the time period divided into Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, etc., then in the beginning of the world, Treta Yuga, this was very well known or well spread. People are doing yajnas. Tani acharata, niyatam satya kama. If you want satya, that means if you want the definite result of work, then you have to do it. Without doing work, you will not get any fruit. So if you want to get the proper fruit, surely, then you do this. Acharata, niyatam. Regularly you have to do this. Yeshava pantha sukrutasya loke. That is the way for you, for doing punya, for yourself doing punya karma and getting its result. That is the way for you. This is the apara vidya vishay being described. Tadetat satyam avidatham kim tat. I think we will take the commentary of this mantra and the further mantras on the next Wednesday. Today we saw the meaning of the word annam, meaning of the process of creation, meaning of the paravidya, and we saw in a nutshell that paravidya, it is the creation is nothing but names and forms and the food which we eat, objects. And then we see that the aparavidya Vishay has to be described. And after we get the description from the rishis, we will get Vairagya. And then only we will be shifting to Paravidya and we shall capable to understand it through our Vairagya. So the second section is started and there first mantra we have read that it is real, that if you do karma, you will get fruit. And these karmas are innumerable good works are there. Innumerable good works are there described in the Vedas, and you have to do that to get the result. If you want the result, you have to do that. And that is the way for you. You go do good work, you will get good result. That is the way for you. So that will be taken up further, this commentary and the next mantra next Wednesday. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shnuyama Deva Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatra Sthirairangai Stushtavansastanubhi Vyashema Deva Hitam Yadayu Swastina Indro Vruddhashrava Swastina Pusha Vishwaveda Swastina Starkyo Arishtanemi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Hare Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.